Well, Tesla might get all the headlines, but Nissan has been quietly working away selling more electric cars than anybody else in the industry. Almost 300,000 copies of the LEAF have been sold since the first generation was introduced. And behind me is the next generation. More power, more capacity, and I think much better looking styling. We're here in the Napa Valley to take it for a drive, and first and foremost, it now looks like a conventional hatchback car, not a futuristic electric car, a car that kind of blends in with the environment. You see a lot of Nissan detail in the design. You've got the V grille, you've got the floating roof, and also the boomerang taillights around the back. Speaking of headlamps, they come with standard LEDs. The base model comes with steel wheels and hubcaps, but the middle and upper trim come with alloys. So let's get inside. I'll tell you about some great standard features, especially for the Canadian market, and then we'll take it for a drive. So in Canada, there's the three trim levels. You get the S, the SV, and the SL. I'm sitting in the SL with the leather seats, and that's right around $42,000. But some good news for people who want to get into an electric car, don't want to break the bank. This car has a solid range of 241 kilometers, and for roughly $36,000, you get a nicely equipped car, especially for our Canadian marketplace. It's easier to heat the people than to heat the air inside on a cold day. So standard heated seats, standard heated steering wheel, and standard heated rear seats. So that's really nice stuff on the base model. However, that base car comes with a 5-inch screen in the center of the dash, no Android or Apple included in that. So Nissan really wants people to go up to almost $40,000 to get the 7-inch screen that you see here. It adds Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and gives you more of the advanced features like the proPilot, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. So this car has always been great because it was a no-sacrifice car. If you compared it to the two cars that really came out at the same time, the LEAF and the Volt was a compromise. You couldn't get 5 people in the car. You always could with the LEAF. It has a hatchback shape that makes it very useful for a lot of families, and that carries over because this is basically a modified version of that original platform. Are there criticisms? I would like to see the 7-inch screen on all trims, and there's still some hard plastic in here. Very similar to the Chevy Bolt. They have that as well. The one car, or two cars actually, that have, I think, upscale interiors are the e-Golf from Volkswagen and the Ioniq from Hyundai. I think they've done a slightly better job when it comes to interior materials. But you got to hand it to Nissan. They've thrown a lot at this car for a very attractive starting price. All right, this Nissan LEAF does not have the range of the Bolt from Chevrolet, for example, but it has a lot more than the previous LEAF. 40% more range, 241 kilometers on a full charge, and that's going to absolutely exceed the range of the majority of Canadians. A stat came out today. They said around 41 kilometers is what the average Canadian commutes every day. So you would have about 200 kilometers of extra range if that was indeed your commute. So for some people, they're going to want that extra range from a higher capacity battery, but that is coming in 2019. They haven't told us exactly, but there's a lot of rumors that it's going to be a 60 kilowatt battery and would definitely compete with the Chevy Bolt, but it'll be more expensive. What's rewarding about this new LEAF is the way that it drives. It's got more horsepower, more torque, and in everyday situations, it has a very nice on-road presence. So you want to take off, mid-range torque is fantastic. Of course, torque is always good away from a stoplight or a traffic light because you get instant torque right from 0 RPMs with an electric motor. So the horsepower now is 147 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque, which makes this car very satisfying. So one of the biggest changes for most people is going to be the integration of e-peddle. So what you have is regenerative braking with an electric car, but it's quite aggressive in this when you have it activated. You lift off the throttle, and the car automatically brakes using that regenerative braking. So we're going to come to a full stop. It'll bring you all the way down to 0. And when you get to 0, then the electric parking brakes come on and keep you in place. This is true whether you're going down a hill or up a hill, which is going to be very handy. And then when you want to accelerate away, it releases the parking brake, and then you can use all that torque. So that's stuff that's in other electric cars, but I think that actual parking brake hold thing is a nice feature. Then on top of that, you get the proPilot Assist. It's basically automatic cruise control with lane keep assist, but Nissan claims the greatest virtue of this is you don't wander out to the lane and then the system corrects you back in. It keeps you in the lane right in the center so it's not correcting and making it feel uncomfortable. This is all moving towards fully autonomous vehicles, but it's certainly a relaxing system to use if you do commute and want to have the car do some of the work for you. In terms of electric car competition, this is the newest and the latest. The Bolt certainly is the range champion with almost 400 kilometers of range. But when you look at this car compared to its direct competitors with the e-Golf, the Ioniq, and some others, they're all right around 200 kilometers of range. This one gets you 241 kilometers of range, but it's the same price. They really do want to sell you that roughly $40,000 car to get the alloy wheels, the bigger head unit, Apple, Android, and you get the proPilot Assist. That really is where most people are going to shop. This is a much better effort from the Nissan LEAF. They already have 800 of these pre-sold before they even arrive in Canada towards the end of February.